How about exercising the option on Chris Woodward, Jared? Why are they so confident? What has Woody really done to deserve this?
I think the counter would be, what has he had to work with? I think I think it's probably a representation of how he's viewed in the clubhouse by the players and within the organization. He was dealt a tough hand. He was kind of dealt a rebuilding team, and a couple years later, he still kind of has a rebuilding roster. But how often in sports are managers, coaches left on the final year of their deal? I think he still has to. As JD said, I think a few days ago, still like there are areas that everyone needs to improve upon. But I didn't foresee. I don't think anyone necessarily foresaw them leaving Chris Woodward as a lame duck manager entering this year. I think the extension was expected. It's a vote of confidence, and I believe it's legitimate. I don't think it's like this superficial vote of confidence just for the sake of activating the option, because I really do think they believe he's the guy that will carry them into this next era. But as you guys know, at some point you got to have the players to win the games, and that hasn't necessarily been the case.
I mean, they'll get the talent. I think Woody's just outstanding with the way that he manages the temperament and the mental part of it. And as far as trying to develop young guys and bring them along, I don't know if he could get much better, at least from what I've seen from Woody. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, he really preaches things that at least these are adults he's working with, right? So, he can't force them to do things. He can obviously create an environment that encourages them to do things. I think to some degree the players have to police themselves, and I think one of the things he's really worked on is building a culture in the clubhouse in which that's the case, empowering these guys. But, he is a very curious person, and it's not just that he says it, but you can tell with the things that the Rangers are doing and attempting or exploring, and the way he talks and the knowledge he has on these various subjects. I think that curiosity is something that he pursues, and I think it's ultimately something that will benefit this team and these players as they're constantly looking for areas and ways in which they can grow.
Well, Jared, how do you think? Okay, do you think they extended him because his ideas, philosophies, things that team building, whatever, meshes with the new general manager? Would there have been some questions if they wouldn't have brought in a new general manager about this?
No, I think that Woody. I don't want to. Chris Young was not hired only because he liked Woody. I don't think that was the case. But I think that Woody's honestly a guy that it's tough to feel like he wouldn't fit with someone or a group that wasn't stuck in the mud. Maybe if Tony La Russa was running the organization or some old school hack like that. He's not a hack. I mean, he's obviously
no. You
really
called him
successful.
A hack. You just did.
I mean, he kind of is now. He wasn't back in the day, but maybe I don't know. I don't know how that would mesh, but I think that the philosophies are collaborative. I think that when Woody was hired, they talked about the desire to have a partnership, and I think that by all accounts, from what we're able to gather, I think it has been a partnership. There hasn't been, a tug of war on anything that I'm sure there have been disagreements and arguments, and I think that's healthy, but I think it really is a partnership, and I think they kind of feel like they're kind of in this together, and if one goes down, then they're probably all